Evening, guys, and welcome back to GKP Live. Hope you're all had a good week. Everybody's well, everybody's happy. Tonight's topics, we're going to be having a special guest on who's going to be bringing up a couple of things that he would like to discuss and like to talk about. We're also going to have Mick Lawson's going to be coming on with us again. We might be having Dazza from Dazza's Koi Farm coming and joining us again. And we might also be having Jack from Baldy Reefer at a later date. He's just got a couple of errands to do and might be on with us later on. So without further ado, I shall introduce the first of our guests and we'll start off tonight's show. I hope you're all good. Hope you're all enjoying what content we put out. Fingers crossed we'll get some audience participation and a couple of people to stick a few of their opinions and their ideas and what they think, to the questions that we're going to be putting forward tonight. So, first of all, I shall bring in Mick to the stream. Evening, Mick. How's it going, mate?
All right, mate. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Very well. So, how's your week been going up to press, mate?
Really good, really good. Yesterday, I went to Bowling Reefer's shop, Reefer Aquatics. Did a bit of work on the tropical tanks with him. Really good. On the koi side, I've moved a few of the big fish on to Daz's Koi Farm so he can breed from them this week.
And we should have some footage of that, mate, that he sent through to us earlier on today. We might be able to bring that up on second monitor later on and let people have a laugh and have a look and see what they think to her. That's going to be two of the fish that he's going to be using in his breeding program.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. And I want to auction fish from Reefer Aquatics. When you was there live, I think it was on Friday, was it?
Was it Friday? Yeah.
Yeah, Friday Night Live, wasn't it?
Friday Night Live.
King Kabuto.
Oh yes, you did. Yeah, oh no, Saturday Night Live because
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, it was carried over, wasn't it? Because Jack was working way down south in London. So I'll just have a quick flick through some of these comments and see what everybody's got to say for the bit. We've got a test earlier on there, which we don't need to show. We've got a 1, 2, 3 with a laughing face from Stephen. We've got a hi Stephen from Pond and Garden, Gary Webb. We've also got evening all from Graham Taylor. Evening, Graham. Nice to see you with us, mate. Again, a hi Graham from Gary. Returned hi back. An evening all from myself. Notes on the screen, PNG coffee mug, brimmed and ready to go. Nice one, bud. We've got April Lannister that says evening all, and I need to give this young lady at some point admin, if you wouldn't mind doing that for me, April. I will sort you out with that as and when I can. We've got a hey Stephen from April. We've got a hey Graham from April. We've got a hi April from Pond and Garden. We've got evening all from Skeggy's Pond, Daz Shelton. We've got a hey at Pond and Garden. We've got a hi Daz from April. Excuse me. We've got evening April from Daz. This gets confusing when there's that many to do. We've got a how is everyone from April? A good thanks from Skeggy. A Pond and Garden saying I'm nervous, and a reply back from me saying know how you feel. April Annie says, why are you nervous with a laughing face? I don't know. Cool. Yeah, I'm guessing she's talking to Gary there. My first live with another YouTuber. And, well, technically, other than Jack, you're only the second that I've done, mate, too. So, I mean, these guys are always on YouTube with us anyway, so they know what the crack is and they know what we're up to. We've got evening from Koyagi Designs. How's it going, Gavin? Hope you're good, mate. We've got it's your second LOL. I've done one with you from DT Koi. We've then got don't be nervous, you'll be fine from April. And we've got a hey DT Koi and an evening Gaz and Mick from Skeggy. Evening, Mick. Should I say Daz?
Hi, Daz.
We've got a hi from DT Koi. Hey Koyagi Designs from April. My first as a guest from Gaz, coming back to a reply to DT Coy. Well, without further ado, I think for now we shall bring in our second guest. Don't forget your microphone might be muted in case you can hear me. So I shall add Gary to the stream. There we go. Welcome
I wasn't expecting that.
Hi, Gary. Welcome.
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
Gaz, or Gary from Pond and Garden, another YouTuber and also another fellow Facebook group, which is also Pond and Garden.
Yep.
I'll let him introduce himself and say a little bit about himself.
Well, many of you on here already know me, but those of you who don't yet, my name's Gary. I'm from Pond and Garden YouTube channel. As Gaz just said, I also have a Facebook group, as Gaz does. And hopefully you'll come and have a look at my channel, subscribe, like the videos, and yeah, enjoy it.
Yeah, sweet. I'm sure you will get some subscriptions after this one, mate. Some people will be.
I've even got the Pond and Garden shirt on tonight.
Merch.
Why not?
Kind and freshly pressed.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a snug fit, but this was the largest size they do, and I'm not exactly trim anymore.
So, go on, Mick. Sorry.
There's always room for a nice little plug of your page and your videos and stuff.
Yeah, I've even got the coffee mug brimmed.
What I need to do is I need to give a couple of other people admin rights so that they can be there and do this kind of admin for us, and we can get some of your actual channels shared when people are coming on. Yeah. I would have some other people that could do it, but unfortunately right now they're not present, they're away, they're doing something, they've got some parts and bits and bats to pick up, so we'll get something sorted out hopefully later on through the evening. So then, how's your week been up to press, Gary? What you been up to? I know you have quite recently got yourself a new fish.
Yes, we went up to Koi Water Barn a couple of days ago, and I have actually now got my very first ever authentic Japanese Sankey.
Settling in all right?
Yeah, it seems to be okay. I did behind the Irish basket a little bit, but a couple of days' time I'll go out and just kind of gently encourage him to come out and mix with other fish. But yeah, he seems to be okay. He'll be in a small pond for a couple of weeks because, as you know, I don't have a quarantine system here. Yeah. So he's in a small pond for a couple of weeks on a suggestion from Vince at Twisty Koi. Then in a couple of weeks' time, if he's okay, doesn't present any problems, then I'll move him over to the koi pond.
Yeah, sweet. This time, what did you say? I've forgotten what size you said he was earlier on when we were talking. Did you say he's 16 cm?
It's a toe size, so it's 6 inch or 15 centimetres.
15 centimetres, yeah, 6 inch bang on metric. I'm just having a quick check there then just to see if you were right, just so that we can get it for people that might be. Well, is it, some people are not so sure of the difference between cm and inches.
Oh, all the time that Vince talks in centimetres, I'm like, you're talking Dutch to me. I don't understand sizes in centimetres. Talk to me in feet and inches, then I can kind of understand it.
You were the same as me, though. Did you do both at school? Did you cover both?
No, we just done feet and inches.
You did very well, must have. Yeah. On me then.
It was feet in my day. Okay, I'm 49. I learned feet and inches and pound and ounces, not grams and all that. The yard. So, what is a yard of sand? Is it a ton? Is it a ton and a quarter? No one really knows.
Yeah, I'm not so sure on all that stuff either, to be fair. Right. Well, you've selected a few topics that you would like to bring up, and a few that you'd like to discuss this evening, which is fantastic. It means I don't have to think of any topics. Well, this is one of the things I'd like to do. I don't want people just to think something that I want to sit here and talk about with you guys. I want people to be able to come on the show and bring up some topics that they'd like to hear people's feedback on and their opinions. And obviously we can grow and learn from it together. So what's your first topic that you would like to bring up?
Right. I know there has been people that have not exactly agreed with my view on a particular filter that has recently come out. I think it actually came out last year, wasn't it? The Tempest.
Yeah.
I've got my view on it, just like everyone has got different views on different filter systems. But one subject that keeps coming up across social media and YouTube and everything is the removal of fines from pond water. Now, what I don't get sometimes is why people are so obsessed with fines removal. If you look at the breeding ponds in Japan, they've got no fines removal or anything now. So what is it about being so obsessed with fines removal? Because in my opinion, it's a battle that you're never going to win, because fines, no matter how much fines removal you've got, you've still got fines from the outside world getting into your pond.
Yeah. Well, I shall let you have a stab at that topic first of all. See what you think. What do you think of the fines removal and the lengths that people seem to want to be going to?
My opinion, I think it's just, again, it's just human nature. They want to see things perfect, don't they? I think it's a bit like koi snobbery kind of thing. I mean, they want to see every pattern line on the fish. They want crystal clear water. Like Gary says, they're bred in mud ponds. They're put in mud ponds, so they're not. You understand? They're not.
Totally, mate. I mean, I've got to admit, that's probably what I think along the same sort of lines as well. Yeah, I think you can.
It's hard. It's hard.
I think
because I say people want perfectly clear water, but is it beneficial for the fish? Or is it not?
That's the one. I mean, if a fish grows so well in a mud pond, why are we fixated on removing particles from a show pond? Or is it just purely for our own benefit, or is it for the benefit of the fish? I don't see as it's for a benefit of a fish when a fish seems to do so well in, for example, Japanese mud ponds.
Yeah. I mean, another thing with the fines, surely there's infusoria or natural foods. You're taking all the fines out. Like, we just killed blanket weed. We've just killed blanket weed off because it's blanket weed. What natural food have we just killed off as well?
Yeah.
To make us feel better.
Yeah. What natural resources have you taken out of the pond for anything that's living and cultivating, all, existing off of those when you remove them? I suppose there is that to look at as well. If you take out,
always a balance.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this has been said by a lot of other people out there, and I know it's been touched on by other people. I've had topic talks about it. The fact that we do take out so much and that we do so much with those ponds isn't necessarily a good thing, because I think people are overcomplicating it and going a little bit too far. Yes, we want to see us fish, and yes, we'd like us ponds gin clear. But if we remove everything, is there anything else there for the rest of the organisms that's in there existing to do their jobs? If we remove absolutely everything, I'm guessing that must be what you're thinking along the same lines of Gary as well.
Yeah, I know Skeggy keeps mentioning to me about watching some of the Koi Talk videos that they've got on their channel. I was watching the boys on Koi Talk a couple of weeks ago, and they were both saying, I'm sure at least one of them was saying that rather than having that perfectly fine-free, crystal, gin clear water, he would actually rather prefer to run his pond on the slightly murky side.
Yeah. I did catch the same one, to be fair, and that's exactly what I mean. He was saying that people are overcomplicating things, going too far, doing too much, removing too much. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Obviously, water clarity is for our peace of mind, isn't it? That's something for us. That's something that we want to see. We want to be able to see the fish in the most crystal clear water so that we can enjoy it. But if you see fish in natural environments, they're bottle green, and those fish, for example, carp lakes, 64 pounders, 68 pound mirror carp growing to such sizes, and there ain't no clear waters there for them. You'd be lucky to see a fish of that size, unless you just see its back breaking as it's basking in lily pads.
Oh yeah, of course. People are going to throw every hammer and tong at a pond to get that absolute crystal clarity. It's because we want to see our fish and everything. I've seen other people say that with a lot of things that we do with our ponds, with filtration and everything, we're trying to give a koi as close to its natural habitat as possible. But because a koi is a hybrid, it's a man-made crossbred fish, they don't, in that sense, have a natural habitat. But if you was to look at their natural habitat as a natural habitat, it would be a dirty, stinking mud pond.
Yeah. I've just 1 second, guys. I just want to introduce our next guest. Obviously, everybody all knows that this gentleman. So, without further ado, I shall add Dazza into the group, and he can give us just a touch base, Daz, just to bring you up to speed. We're talking about pond clarity and the removal of fines and the removal of murky water conditions to prevent. Or is it a preventative thing? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And talking through the type of filter system that Gary brought up was I forgot the name of it.
Tempest.
The Tempest. For exactly that solid reason. Most people seem to be using that not as a standalone filtration system, but as an additional filtration system to remove fines from the ponds. And the question is, what do you think about it? What do you think? Do you think people are going too far with it? Do you think people are perhaps maybe taking it or
there's two ways you can look at it. If your pond is dirty, then you can't see your fish. If they've got ulcers or anything, it's difficult to keep tabs on them with their general health. But then on the flip side of that, if it's crystal clear, every time you go near the pond, they go bolting off and they can hurt themselves.
Yeah.
So,
I guess there is another way you could look at that too. If you, for example, got a glass window in your pond, then when the fish come up to your window, even when the clarity is not perfect, you can still get to see it and inspect your fish, which is another plus from having a.
That's a brilliant observation point. The window for checking the healthy fish.
Yeah. So, what do you think your opinions are? They could perhaps sometimes go too much. I mean,
I think as long as it's not too dirty, then a bit of green in the water doesn't do any harm.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it fluctuates throughout the year. Sometimes it will go crystal clear, especially when it gets cold, and then it will go a bit greener again. So it's hard to keep it crystal clear all year round anyway.
Yeah.
What's the max flow you can put through the Tempest? It's 5,000, isn't it?
I believe it is.
I think it states up to 5,000 so that they can cover that.
I think optimum flow rate is, I'm sure someone will correct us in the chat. I think optimum flow rate is 5,000. I think maximum is 7,500. If I'm right, I'm not saying I am.
Would that work as an application on my spray bar to stop the holes getting clogged up then?
It's possible, I suppose.
Yeah. Would a Tempest work better than a moving bed though? Because they're both very similar, aren't they?
No,
yeah.
On my spray bar, the 12-foot spray bar, what we've done.
Yeah.
You know how the holes keep getting clogged up?
Yeah.
So I was wondering, would that work? Would a Tempest, instead of just coming straight from a pumping corner, put a Tempest between the pump and the spray bar and see if that would take some
it
of
will definitely make a difference because it would trap a lot of the fines and the little bits of blanket weed and crud that get through.
The bit I don't understand about the Tempest is you have the same media running around in a big Nexus 320 or an Easy Pod, the rest of it, yet those fines get through.
I just spotted Graham Taylor said in the comments that the maximum flow rate is 5,000 litres. I've actually got the instructions in front of me. Optimum flow rate is 5,000 litres. The maximum flow rate, I was correct, it's 7,500 litres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bit that, as I was saying, the bit that I don't understand is how, when you put it in a smaller diameter tube, all of a sudden it seems to remove fines, which I don't get how it never removed the fines initially when it came through the Easy Pod, Nexus, whichever, or whatever type of pond filtration system you've got that's running the same sort of product inside it. That's the, I don't know. I just find it, I think, it could be more the case as, is it actually removing more fines? I mean, obviously it's removing more fines, but is it just purely the fact that you can actually see it because it's in a transparent clear tube that makes it more noticeable?
Is it a gimmick?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm not saying it is one way or the other. I'm not insinuating that they're not good. I mean, I haven't got one. I wouldn't have one, but not really what I would have on my pond. If I were going to do it, if I were going to put more filtration in, I would put a bigger filtration in rather than a smaller cylinder doing the same thing. I think you could use it on a larger scale and do it as a bigger, in my opinion. But yeah, the topic for going out.
K1 in the Tempest though, is it a bit more compressed? Because it's in a tube, isn't it? It's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, less so. Not bouncing around, not bubbling about. Inside in the inner circle of one's static and the other one's moving. So you get the same sort of thing. So, I don't know.
If it's more compressed, and the fine's going to get trapped better in it than K1 that's moving about.
Well, there's no taking it away from it. It's definitely visibly see it removing more fine.
Yeah.
But how far do you go before you're doing too much and removing too much out of ponds? Was Gary's question, not so much as, do they do the job or don't do the job, which I kind of did it to.
I think it boils down to what we want, doesn't it? Because really, koi are dirty fish, and they're quite happy in dirty, muddy water or green water. It's down to us because we like to see them. Yeah,
true. Right. Well, does that answer your question, Gaz? I mean, I'm not that way.
I know. Watching the comments scrolling up. My question wasn't aimed at the Tempest itself, because I know there's different types of filtration that you can put on a pond for fine filtration. But yeah, my main premise of the question was, why are people so obsessed with fine filtration?
We'll have a quick look through some of the comments and see what everybody's been saying. April Lannister says, I swear we did CMs, although I don't remember most things I did, let alone yesterday, let alone 10 years ago. Up north, koi, all that matters is the inches, apparently. Yeah. I was educated in feet and inches, always thought you put money in meters. Got a clapping hands, laughing face from April. About right, Graham from Skegger. Mega difference between mud ponds and display ponds. The fines are different. Well, obviously, the fines are different. But what we're saying is it a good thing to remove everything from a pond? I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not here to actually make any statements or anything like that. That's what the topic and the discussion's about, is to basically have a chat about it. It's like something Ricky said. It's not always great to have pure, clean water. Totally agree, mate. I don't think that I think you can go too far and take too much out myself. There's another comment here. It's a mud pond. It's soft water. Well, what's soft water got to do with fines? I'll give you a chance to come back at that, CK. What's the fact of soft water, hard water? You can still get fines in hard water. You can still get fines in soft water. What's the relevance of that comment? People chasing perfect water from Graham Taylor. I think people do too much. I think personally, a lot of people go a little bit too far. There are certain elements that are in all those waters, and I bet a lot of them make a great deal of difference whether they're there or not. I mean, I think sometimes you can go a little bit too far of it.
Yeah, it depends how much time you've got as well, how much spare time. I haven't got much, so my clarity isn't that good.
I think if you wanted extremely perfect clarity, then you need to be going on to your drum filters, which clean out your filter or wash through a cycle every 20-30 minutes, whatever you want to set them at, and pretty much hit that continuously to the point where there's next to nothing in there. But then again, you're topping back up a lot, so you've got trickle in, trickle out, and the systems are expensive. Don't get me wrong, they are extremely good, very good. I've seen the systems up and running, and to be fair, I wish I'd got the brass tag one, because
yeah, me too.
I would love to have one, but then again, are you not taking some of the element of fish keeping away from the maintenance side of things, the upkeep, the looking, getting involved with your fish, the being in your ponds and cleaning your filters out?
I think that's the logical step step for me next is to go for drum filter and moving bed, I think.
Yeah. As Ed says there, this is where I think a lot of people go wrong. There's so many problems with the mess about with nature. Too much and upset the balance. Got to agree, Ed. I think there's got to be, in most ponds, a natural balance to some element.
Yeah. I mean, we all probably know people that have set up a natural pond and with no filtration, and it's got crystal clear clarity, and it looks after itself.
Yeah.
Once the balance is set up and right.
Yeah, like I was saying, with most of your local fishing waters, there's no filter systems on any of them. And the fish, I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes they do get, algae blooms where they need a bit of help and they have to put in a bit of variation, a bit of movement and all the rest of it to rectify some of them issues. But it's just a case of nature normally takes care of itself, doesn't it? And it normally, you get a problem is when the ponds and the waters become overstocked, where nobody's maintained them and removed some of each year's growth and fry that have come on and moved on and spawned, and again keep doing so until such time as somebody does come along and clear them out. But nature has its way of dealing with things, doesn't it? Often the strong survive and it wipes the numbers out, and then they start up again. Skeggy's Pond says mud pond finds are clay, etc., that we add in and then we remove. Yes, exactly. The topic that we were talking about last week, you've got additives, clays that we put in and then we filter it back out again. But the minerals are there, I suppose, still for the period of time till it gets cleaned out and filtered out. Anyway, right. I think we've hashed that one out, unless if I just go down to the new comments and have a quick check through and see what anybody else's comments are. If there's anybody replying to any of them. If not, we can bring up the next topic, Gary, and see what we chew over on that one.
Yeah, where ANC Coy was. Sorry, was it me next, or did my Mick or Dad were last one?
I'm just saying, where's the moving bar over the bottom so people can?
Oh yeah,
see
the banners.
Yeah, mate. Sorry. Anyway, nice to meet you. Anyway, Gary, for the first time.
Nice to meet you guys as well.
Hi, Gary.
I've been watching your videos.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, I watched your last one. Rightly so. I did enjoy it.
I do. I know my videos ain't perfect. They're not as good as James's or other people's, but I wasn't initially looking at doing YouTube channel. It's just that when I upload my videos direct from my camera to my Facebook group, the video and the audio is so laggy. So I just started off using YouTube as like a link bridge. But then as people started watching my videos, I thought, bugger it, why not?
Yeah. More, like I say, more fish people, more like-minded people who maybe not be able to afford the expensive stuff. Join the community kind of thing. Because none of us have got the most fandangled filter systems, the most fandangled pond systems.
Oh, of course. Yeah, my koi pond, all that's running, it was running a 3-tier backy shower, that's now gone. But all that's running is an easy pod on a 3-inch bottom drain, and the small pond's just running a 46 quid box filter.
Yeah.
The clarities I've got in that just from them, I can't grumble with the water clarity I've got.
No, that's it. And like I say, as we progress, I think the progression, you do get better and better as you get used to the hobby. Like the boys have been to my house. They've seen what I had before on filtration system, and then now what I've got now. And what I had before was rubbish. This one's not too bad, but it's not perfect. So like I say, the next step will be drum filter and moving bed for me.
Yeah, my koi pond next year is going to be upgraded to the Draco Minima, and in May this year, the small pond's going to be having an easy pod fitted to it.
Yeah. Right. For my ponds, they just run on pressure filter with a K1 moving bed attached to it, and keeps the fish happy. I've got no complaints from the fish.
Well, you wanted another question, didn't you, Gaz?
Yeah, fire away, mate. I was just having a quick flu.
Yeah, well, where ANC Coy mentioned just now about mud ponds being soft water, another subject did instantly pop into my head that's not in my list. KH. People run, say, a KH of, say, 5 or above, or between, say, 6 and 8. Others, they've got KH as low as 2, even 3. Now, what is considered too low as well as too high, or what is the ideal KH that a pond should be? You know, are people playing the danger game having such a low KH of 2 or 3, even down as far as 1? But, you know, what were your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, KH has 2 regions, one for soft water, one for hard water. The average for soft water should be between anywhere from 6 to 7 or 5 to 7. And then you've got the opposite for hard waters, which can be anything from 10 to 12-ish, thereabouts. I think it says something along those lines. I'm not stating exact numbers, but there are 2 elements to soft water and hard water. I do think that if your KH is as low as 1 or as high as God knows what, you know, you're obviously going to be running in some kind of elements of trouble. And I think it's something that most people should keep an eye on. But just how much? If I went to my local and asked what I needed to test and what I needed to check regular, they would say your pH, ammonia, nitrate, GH. Never heard my particular store talk anything about KH. But, you know, again, levels of, you know, how far do you go before you're doing too much again? I don't know. I mean, the relevance of KH and GH. pH is low, then that makes your pH low. So that one I do know needs to be in the right amount of levels. Because if you get your GH right, that brings your pH right. But the other one, I'd need to do a little bit more research on that myself to understand it a little bit more of what it's about. But I do know that it has levels for hard water and soft water.
I know people will, you know, have disagreed with me over the years that I've been on Facebook groups and everything. As a routine, I don't test my KH. The only time I have tested it is when I needed to use the treatment such as Alprex, which when I did test my KH, my koi pond was running a KH of 8. So, I say many people disagree with me, but the only things I check for is ammonia, nitrite, and where's he gone? Ammonia, nitrite, pH, and phosphate.
Yeah.
And you know, to see some people that have got a KH of low as 2, and any bit of research I've done, and I know Google is a wonder of all information. You know, many reference sites I come across say that the ideal KH level is between 6 and 8. What do you guys think?
I don't tend to test the KH. I mean, my water's pretty hard anyway, and from what I can gather, it's more a problem if you've got soft water.
Yeah, I know my area here is hard water, but rather than chasing now I don't know how true it is, but some people have said to me that if you constantly could chase a stable KH, it can possibly cause an unstable pH, where I've always tried to maintain my pH 7.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Chasing numbers is not good. I mean, what's all your pHs in your pond right now?
Mine,
You told me, guys.
this weekend was 7.5, but that's one thing I do try to maintain, just because when I've seen them drop down, they've not been happy about it. And you normally tell when there's a bit of an issue where your fish are acting in there. Yeah. And then you don't get, you know, any problems like we've seen it past where some people have had, you know, low pH levels, your fish don't like it, and it's not, in my eyes, it's not worth the risk. I always do keep a regular check on that, whether it's a weekly or fortnightly, especially after something like a heavy thunderstorm. I'll go out and check it the following day, sure that if it needs to be, all I need to do for mine though personally is a straightforward water change because mine comes out of tap at 7.5 bang on. So
Yeah.
I don't need to really worry about it.
Yeah. Because mine, believe it or not, I do the water changes. It, like you say, it comes out at 7.5, 7.6. But my pond, after a while, goes to 9. But it stays at 9. It don't go above, and it don't drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I asked a gentleman called Matt Talbot, is my pH too high? And he said no. As long as it don't keep swinging up and down, as long as it's locked on at 9, it'd be okay.
Yeah. So then they can get used to it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's it. The fish adjust to it, don't they? Then they're happy.
Well, do you think that's a bit? I thought that was high.
I don't know for them, and I don't know what the tolerance. I mean, same as any fish, isn't it? Even in tropicals and stuff, there's a tolerance for each type of fish from which different area that it's come from. But I suppose if you've picked them up from somewhere and it's been solid 7.5 and it's been 7.5 throughout the duration of the life, and then they come to your pond and they take a massive swing jump up to 9, yeah, maybe that might upset them a little bit, and perhaps maybe something you need to, bring down should you start seeing the effects of it, not looking good for your fish. But again, I suppose it's something that if it gradually got there and then stabilised at that, then they'd eventually get used to it, wouldn't they? Same as everything.
Yeah.
I've never had to say do anything to adjust the pH in my small koi pond, but small pond in the summer when everything's in bloom, everything's going as it should be, that always jumps up to 8, always. But then when come November, December time, it's come back down to 7.5.
Yeah, I think your tolerances are. I think that your safe zones for your GH or your pH. Let me have a quick look on here. Your safe zones are. Can't even see that, Ryan. So small. 6.5 to 8.5 as a kind of like, no, that's not 7 to 8.5 are the tick safe zones on their test kit. So those
my trop tank, the pH in that, that's up and down all the time. I'm always having to put a bit of bicarb in it to even it out.
1 minute then, because like Gary just says, was it the time of year that's done it? Steph, were you going to do me a live pH test for me on my tank, on my pond?
A live pH. Now, if you start running off out the door now because there's something wrong, then we've lost you.
No. It's too cold out there for a fat man.
Right, I'll have a quick flick through some of these again. The mud pond finds are the clays, etc.
Done that one.
Oh, we've done that one, yeah. Oh, God.
Or just hit me the water, and I'll do it.
Airborne, what? Predators are less of an issue for breeders in mud ponds.
Yeah, I suppose it's cloudy. They can't see the fish as well.
Yeah.
And then we've got from Skegate makes me laugh when people are on their water and then add everything back in.
Yeah.
To agree with that one. Skeggy Pond, don't see many clear mud ponds. Yeah, clay ponds.
Yeah.
It's true, they're not. But, yeah. But then again, I have a pond outside, not outside fish tank.
Yeah. True.
In a sense, just because you got like me and you guys, we got fish tanks indoors. Even having a pond outside, like mine's a sleeper pond. In essence, isn't that still a tank without a lid?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, really. I mean, it's just not transparent.
Water,
It's just the same thing, but a bigger version.
Yeah, it's an outdoor tank.
There we go. That comment there. I don't know if I've read that out. Indeed, Graham, in fact, never seen one. But with common and mirror carp, they're not bred the same way as koi. if that makes sense. Right, well, we can. I could perhaps maybe that might be a good time to share a little video. I do have a little video somewhere. If
you got fish in a boat.
There you go. Yeah, I got fish in there as well.
This is pond water.
Well, I'll let you get that up and sorted. I'll let you do what you're doing, and I'll find this little video.
Look how crystal clear
with
that
that
is.
little comment there. DT Coy's putting a good.
You gonna drink some? Have a sip, Mick.
I bet you will make a cup of coffee with that.
Oh, what? Right, gentlemen.
Oh, he's doing a live pH test, is he?
Yeah, I am doing the
Yeah,
Same
same test kit I use.
Other test kits are available.
Yeah, other test kits are available.
We've got a message there from Stubbs Aquatics. If I had a raised pond with a viewing window, I would want it to be very clear like an aquarium, but in ground, it looks like more natural. But that's just, yeah, I'd agree with you, Chris. I think if you've got a window, then your pond, more obviously, that's because you were saying tanks earlier, is more obviously noticeable if it's mucky when you're looking through your window. So I think to a point, there's some element of vanity to it too, as well as whether or not it's been 100% better for the fish. But, who would want a pond with a great big massive, 1 metre by 7 metre window inside of it, and then having it be pea green where you can't see fish unless they're actually touching a pane of glass? Because you just wouldn't, would you?
Right, so I'm testing for the wide range pH. I've got to add 5 drops of this.
Yeah.
This is where it could all go completely wrong.
Yeah, it could go completely wrong.
Yeah.
We're going to learn from it, aren't we? If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, you got to be.
Did you say 6? Did you not say 6 drops?
No, 5 drops.
5.
I'm just keeping you on your toes, mate.
I thought we kept 7.
So,
And yeah,
It's definitely blue.
as I said, it's blue.
That is really blue.
It is.
Yeah.
How many litres is your pond, Nick?
3,600 gallons.
So that's about 3 times the size of mine. Mine's 1,200 gallons.
wow. Yeah, you're a pond, Mick.
Whenever my small pond does go up in pH, all I do to adjust that back down to 7.5 is I use Blagdon pH adjuster for alkali ponds, and that normally in 1 or 2 doses of that knocks it back down to where it should be at 7.5.
Could you send the link to Gaz for me, and then Gaz will send it to me?
Yeah, I'll put a link up for that right now.
Like I say, because I need to. I think at the reading, like I say, I need to try to get it down.
Yeah. We've got a shout out there from April. Daz. We got one from Sam. Does it? Hope you're feeling good, Sam. I hope that you are getting over the COVID, mate. And I hope Abs is feeling better too, bud. Best wishes to you both.
That link that Mick just asked for, Gaz, should be in your inbox now.
Thank you very much, mate. I shall forward it on to him. We've got
Thank you.
laughing, smiley, crying faces from ANC ×3. We've got Graham Taylor says the Tempest is not just a water polisher, fines collector. What else is it then?
Well, they do say that you can put it on a small pond of up to 5,000 litres as a standalone filter, but to be honest with you, in my own personal opinion, I know people have objected to me saying this to the high heavens, but I wouldn't put a Tempest on my drop tank. I do think it's an overpriced gimmick.
Right. Well, we've got another mention here from Skeggy Ponds, and original koi habitats were paddy fields, originally bred as a food supplement. Right. Well, I've got a little bit of a video that Mick found earlier today, which I found was pretty interesting. So I'm going to share this second monitor. It's only a very short video, guys. It's only about 2.5, maybe 3 minutes long. But I think a lot of people might find it quite interesting. So, without further ado, let's bring this on.
We got no sound. Oh, that was right. I won't hear it.
Can you guys still hear me? Who's on the
Yeah.
the guy who are hosting the stream?
I can hear you, mate.
Guys, there's no sound on the video.
Can you guys still hear me? Who's on the
Yeah.
who are hosting the stream?
I can hear you, mate.
Guys, there's no sound on the video.
You got no sound to it?
No, there's no sound to it.
It should be. Did you say there's no sound there to that video? Oh,
No, there's no sound to it.
right, well, that's a bummer. Should be, I can hear it. So it was quite interesting, that. That went well. I should test that before I try doing it live. Right, well, we'll bang that back out. I'll have a look at that, see if we can bring that back in and get it to work again. And while I have a look at seeing if I can bring that audio up for everybody to hear.
The
Basically,
one with the live video.
a little bit. In fact, I could just share a link to you guys, and you can have a look at it at your own pleasure at a later date. But it's quite interesting, to be fair. There's a lot of the history about Japanese koi.
Yep. I've just done a live test as well. I've just done ammonia test live as well, lads. And the ammonia is close to 0.
There we go. Sweet. That's what you want, man. Good do.
Yeah. But no pond. No, the people say, "Oh, my pond's 0. My pond's this." It ain't never going to be 0.
No.
Because if the pond was 0, where would the bacteria food come from?
Yeah, true.
Martin Hoyt was actually talking about that at KWPR. Of all the test kits that we use, we would never have absolute 0 ammonia in a pond. For the bacteria in your filter systems and backy showers and things to survive, you would need a minimum of something like 0.2 ppm or whatever it is so that the bacteria's got food to feed on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be a minimum, wouldn't it?
I've got, I can see just down here, down in the lobby, there's another person giving me a signal that I would like to join the live stream as well. So, without further ado, we'll bring in probably what I would think will be the last one for this evening. So, there you go, guys. Jack, the Molding Reefer, how are you going, mate? Did you manage to get what you were out there to pick up?
Very well. Sorry, I was eating. I wasn't expecting you to got me in the stream straight away.
Me too.
This is background, like you wanted to come in, so I thought, well, get in. Look, pull you in while you were doing what you were doing.
Those weren't the signs I was flashing to you, good sir.
Oh, no, truly
You're
won't.
always eating anyway.
Yes, what I was supposed to be going to collect turns out that it's an elderly lady, and she was like, "Oh, it's going to be a little bit dark for me this evening. Can you come over tomorrow?" So I've just gone and put 50 quid in the car. Was like 20 minutes there, and then got a message saying that. So it was like, "Oh, great, thanks."
You're going to have to go back tomorrow now in daylight. Well, you can understand if she's elderly, mate. Some bald random dude turning up at her house. I'd be a bit weary too.
I mean, I do look like a little bit of a gypsy as well. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. You got the fat part missing out, guys. The fat bald-headed guy.
Well, no, it's not missing now. You just said it, so.
Heartbroken, mate. Heartbroken, mate. How dare you? How's everyone doing anyway? Everyone good?
All right, mate.
Yeah, good deal.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for a nice day yesterday. I loved it, as usual.
You're very welcome, mate. You're very welcome indeed.
We've had a couple of topics and a couple of discussions, or ongoing discussions, about removing fines from the pond. And then the last one that Gary just brought up was about KH and yes, KH was KH1, not GH. KH is, what levels of KH should be striving for in your pond, and is it risky to be having levels down as low as 2 or levels as high as 18? And I know that there are some elements to soft waters and hard waters. What's your opinion on them, Jack, and what you think should be an equal balance of what you should be aiming for? Is it bad? Is it dangerously bad to have low levels of KH or high levels of KH? What are the effects?
I always go with the whole stay stable as opposed to chasing one number, because the moment you start looking at oyster shells, the moment you start looking at pH boosters and all that kind of thing, they've all got a lifespan on them at the end of the day. All you've got to do really is monitor your levels. If your fish are stable and happy, obviously, yes, if you're getting ridiculously low or ridiculously high, then you need to look to do something to balance that out. So I'd personally balance it out through natural, I'd stop balancing out, should I say, through natural water changes, i.e. rainwater, and I'd start balancing it back out through the tap. But as long as your levels are particularly stable, then for me, don't chase a perfect optimum, because the moment you chase one thing, you're going to push the other thing back out. Far too many koi keepers out there massively overcomplicate this hobby for me, more so than what it needs to be. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're breeding on an indoor scale on a really granular level, then yes, it'd be ideal to watch those parameters and watch those swings. But for somebody like me that's got the koi farm, obviously a mud pond is soft water. I have soft water in my mud pond. I don't particularly have to worry about it. It's too much of a large scale for it to ever crash, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But as somebody posted earlier on, ANC Koi, that's because it's soft water. What's soft water going to do with fines in the water?
With fines?
Yeah.
No, nothing.
We were talking about having the use of removing fines from your pond, and we were at the statement that a few of us said is that, you know, a mud pond isn't clear, isn't clean, isn't crystal clear in that sense. So the elements of them fines are still staying in there. And the comment that he put in was something along the lines of, that's because it's soft water. Well, soft water, I didn't understand the statement that you made, ANC. That's why, I mean, you've not come back to me other than with an explanation as to what you meant. I can't understand as to why, whether it be soft water or hard water, fines would not exist. They should still exist in either condition, sure. But
yeah. So again, I'm just going back through the comments now just to jump on the back of that. So Philip Telford Coy made a very good point, saying his is at 8 straight out the tap. So combined with a pH of 8.1 in a hard water area, it's working well for me. So yeah. I'm exactly the same as Phil there.
Yeah.
My pond, my tap water is hard water.
So what levels does it push up to becoming hard water?
I can find out for you.
Guess we should really, not really, but
so most aquariums use hard water generically to refer to what water that is high in mineral content. This can mean either the water being high KH, containing high levels of carbonates, or high GH. Can KH be too high? The same applies to goldfish and koi. You only need to avoid extremes. Hardness degrees, GH and KH below 4 or above 20 are not ideal. It doesn't really matter to the fish, but the effects of the low hardness to the chemistry and biology of the water are dramatic, i.e. Mad Dog when he had his pH crash.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, you're going to be able to change that out through natural water changes anyway. Obviously,
so one way or the other, and you've got a steady balance on whatever it is and maintaining, you're pretty good. As long as you're not dropping below siller levels and rising above siller levels, as long as you're maintaining an equal balance with what's, you know.
Correct. So in regards to your earlier point of is 18 too high, my answer to that would be no. If your 18 is a solid, stable 18, why mess with it? Why change it? Yeah, because if you're doing a water change in, and you've got it down to 12, and you think, right, that's happy, that's where I want to be, smack bang in the middle. But then you do a water change, you're going to push yourself back up to 18.
Yeah.
I think one of my main aspects beyond the question, Jack, is with KH, what is considered the best KH level to have in a pond, and what is considered too high or too low? And with fines is why people are so obsessed with chasing that absolute 100% crystal clear, fine-free water. Wouldn't it be better, as Koi Talker said on one of their videos, they would rather run a slightly murky pond to that gin clear clarity?
I think for the clarity side of things, like we said, I think personally, me, that's individual preference. I mean, we all have ultraviolets on purely so we can see as fish, but the fish do definitely do better in environments where you can't technically see them.
What's your thoughts, Jack?
Pardon?
What's your thoughts on the obsession that a lot of koi keepers have with chasing that absolute 100% fine-free water? And what would you consider an ideal KH or too low or too high?
So for me, an ideal, I'd sit somewhere smack bang in the middle. I'd be looking around 12. But again, that's me giving advice. I'm not gonna practice what I preach there. Mine sits at about 14. I don't particularly bother with it. Prime example: Danny Scoopon come in the shop the other day, and he says, "Oh, what's the KH and GH of your pond?" I was like, I don't know, about 14, 15. He says, "Oh, you need to be on that." So yeah, I don't. They're happy, they're healthy, they're fine. It's stable, it's safe. In regards to your question about your water clarity, I think a lot of people go overboard with water clarity when they've got a pond window. It's like having an aquarium at the end of the day. Then you want your aquarium water to be crystal clear. For me, I personally don't like pond windows. I think they really distort the colour of the fish. Now, this is coming from someone that's about to build a pond at home with a window in, because April wants one. What she wants, she gets. So, but that's April pond. That's not my Japanese show pond. There's a reason why I built mine the way that I built it, because even if I do get some fines in the water, my clarity is still half the time 98%. The moment you put it in a pint pot and pick it up and have a look, yeah, you can see some fines in there, but you're going to see fines in there. You're putting food in there. Your fish are pooing in there. You've got plants in there. You're always going to get bits in your water. And you know what I mean? Some people they take the fun out of the hobby for me. Yeah. There's far too many extremists out there. Does your water look really, really good? Yeah. Does it look like a sheet of glass? Yeah. Okay, cool. Have you got a bit of blanket reef? Yeah. So be it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right then.
So,
well, go on.
So, chat. So, I've just done a live pH test on before you joined. My pH is 9, but it stayed at 9 for the last year. Do you think, or do any of the viewers think 9 is too high? Because I thought it was on the high side.
It is a little bit on the high side.
Yeah. And I want to know what everybody else thinks. Do they think I need to gradually bring that down to a more...
But it's not going to come down too far, is
it?
No. That's it. If we bring it down to, like, say, 8, like you said, that's the safe zone, isn't it? 8.
Yeah. So bear with me.
8.5.
So a quick Google search, sacramentokoi.com. In cases where the pH is too high, brackets 9.5, fish can experience a condition known as alkalosis, which can also be fatal. Note, koi do not like extreme pH changes. So you just mentioned there that they're very stable pond.
Yeah.
It then says in bold, black letters, we have seen very healthy koi living very happily in water with a pH as high as 9. Do you remember what I was saying? Just about stable is key.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
If it's not fluctuating, it's not changing a lot, it's not going up and down a lot, the fish are used to it and they get comfortable within it. So there's your answer to your question.
Yeah, but like see, if I go to a dealer now and say, bring one home, like you said, who's been in a 7.5, will I be stressing that fish out its box, and will it survive in that higher pH bracket?
Well, your answers there is something you could give yourself. When the last time you purchased a fish, did it survive, and how's it doing now? Perfectly fine. Well, yes, you did. No, it didn't. Yeah. So
for me, very simple. Acclimation.
Yeah. Trip acclimate it till it's in there, steady away. Let it get used to it over a period of time before you introduce it.
Yeah.
All right. quick message there from Black Country Koi. I've been yeah.
I've been all right. How about you?
We've got, hey David, good luck for tomorrow, buddy. And I believe that's for, I think he's going in for some kind of an operation, mate, if you are. And you haven't had it already, mate. Good luck, bud. Hope everything goes well for you, mate. Clearer the better, in my opinion. Well, that's the thing, mate. This is what it's about. It's not us saying that it's right nor wrong, but it's each individual's opinion. That's what it's all about.
End of the day, your pond is your showpiece, isn't it? And if you have people come around and look at it, you want it to be as clear as possible. So you can see your fish in every detail. That's
it, yeah. I mean, if you can see them quite clearly and you can appreciate them, you can see the colours and you can see the, the robing on your fish and etc., then that's clear enough, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't need to be
gin clear.
It's never going to be perfect, is it? Because like you say, if you feed shortly after, they're going to make mess. After that, it's going to be going through your filter system. If you're pump fed, it's going to get smashed up to smithereens in your pump, fired through your filter system, and any of that sneaks through is being returned back to pond until it's filtered out. So you're always going to get some elements of fat, aren't you? Pollen counts, anything that's in and around your garden, slight little bit of leaf that drops in there, you just don't see because it's tucked behind a plant pot or whatever. That's always going to break down to the point where you're going to have fine elements in there. I don't think it's possible to get rid of them all unless you've got some seriously good filtration system. And then, like we were saying earlier, are you taking too much out for anything else that lives off those items that are in there? So,
I know I got a notification that they arrived. Did your iris plants arrive fully intact?
Thanks for that, mate. For those that hadn't seen your video, I was trying to do a big, massive gram reveal on my next video for Sunday. But for anybody that is an avid watcher, yes, my surprise Irish fans that nobody knew about have arrived absolutely intact.
Well, they will know about them because I've seen in my video they're coming to you, so that already gave you away.
Yeah, but no, they have. Thank you ever so much, mate. They're absolutely brilliant. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put them into obviously the square baskets that are there. I'm going to put them into a bigger basket. I've intentionally not opened the box just yet because I've been doing a few different things in the fish room, which after the live stream I've got to carry on doing. So I'm going to put them into a bigger basket. I'm actually going to suspend them up right near the top of the water column and secure them down with some washers because Alistair Yo came over to see me today. Bear with me. Sorry, I needed to sleep. Alistair Yo came over to see me this afternoon. He actually gave me these plaques. So I've got two. So I was going to spray them up white so you can see them. And then there's got a bit of a ridge on the inside.
Yeah.
So yours and Kaz's name will be the first one in the plaque.
Nice one.
And as my video the other day also gives away, that you're probably going to mention on yours, there will be another one on the way very soon.
Yeah, honestly, I'm blown away by that, by the way. That's nuts.
Well, if you can't support fellow YouTubers, what can you do?
Yeah, like I say, that's all we're trying to do with the Bowling Reefer, with Gaz. We're just trying to build one big happy community. Not everybody's welcome. We'd like everybody to put a little bit of something in, like not monetary value or anything, just advice, kindness, sharing there, what they've been doing, kind of thing, like we're doing now tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
We've got an evening there from Hertz, and I will say welcome and hope you're enjoying it, mate. Excuse me.
Just to jump in.
Sorry?
Just to jump in, Hertz Koi, this guy's knowledge around technology, like linking into aquariums and ponds, is second to none. Wait till you see the build he's got going on at the moment. It is nuts. So he is another YouTuber. So if anybody, obviously, if you can show some love, and if people can go over and subscribe to Hertz Koi as well, because there's going to be a little bit of a joint collab with the video that he's doing, and that's going to be insane. I think there's going to be a lot of koi keepers out there that are going to want what he's building.
We've got quick question there from April. It's, oi, Gaz, where's my spanner? Gaz says the reply back to that is, April, check your toolbox. You've got it there. And if you could do me a huge, great big favour and perhaps maybe share
Hertz Koi.
Gary's and Hertzkoi's channel for me, that would be very much appreciated.
Well, I'm not going to shout out no more. No, that's twice in 2 days now. Oh, I'll give you a link on the end of my video, mate. Oh, no, share to YouTube.
Wrong with that. I need to go back into it, man, edit it and change it because it's. I mean, it links to your channel. There is also a statement there when it says the date and time TBR live. I mean, I should be able to guide people there. I don't necessarily have to hold their hand and take them there, surely.
Oh, you do, mate. This is the human race we're talking about.
I'd read that one out, but I don't speak Swahili, so we'll leave that one till a later date. We've got a Hey Hertzkoi from April. We've got an Albinia from Black Country Koi. We've got a Hi April from Hertz. What's your next topic of discussion that you would like to bring to the table, Gaz?
Does someone else want to have a question? Because I've got a mouthful.
God, that's I've seen you putting it in your mouth. The human eye can only see down to 50 microns to the fines in the pond, regardless. There we go. So anybody that's removing anything less than 50 microns, you can't physically see it. I ain't going to say that one's right either, but who knows? That one's got to be worth having a look at, doing a Google on.
What's
There
that?
you go. Hertz Koi.
The human eye can only see down to 50 microns, so the fines in the pond. So there are fines in the pond regardless. So if you can't see anything less than 50 microns with your human eye, you're removing items that can't be seen.
To a point in that sense, then with clarity, there'd be no point in me going to a drum filter because the drum filter's down to, is it 56 to 60 microns? So if my eyesight goes down to 50 microns, there'd be no point in the drum filter.
So, hey, country Kai back from April. So, has anybody else got any other topics that they would like to discuss, share, or bring up?
Mad Dog's just asked one.
Mad Dog's just asked you. Where's his spot?
Mad Dog.
Right at the very bottom. Cheers for that, Mad Dog.
Should cottage cheese be put on toast with tuna?
I'd go with that. Yeah. All right, that'd be all right. Cottage cheese is nice. I'm not. Cottage cheese and tuna goes with a jacket spud. So
Yeah, tuna melt.
Right.
yeah.
I've got a question for asking about everybody. It's okay.
Yeah, go.
Go on then, mate.
Right. I've been talking to the lads about this ammonia. Everybody tests the pond for ammonia, but there's something called ammonium, and the test will only show ammonia. Ammonia is not toxic, and ammonia is, isn't it? Like everybody knows.
Yeah.
But ammonia is non-toxic. Ammonia is.
Ammonium.
How do you? Ammonium, sorry. Yeah, ammonium's non-toxic. Ammonia is toxic. But the tests don't differentiate from ammonium or ammonia.
So
Does anybody?
So what you're saying is technically if we're testing as ponds for ammonia, you're getting levels of ammonia or ammonium, you wouldn't know which one you're actually...
So you can test for it. So what you have to do is you can test for ammonium ions either in a solid or a solution by adding sodium hydroxide solution and warming it gently. If the compound contains ammonium ions, you'll get ammonia gas produced, which you can test with damp red litmus paper, which turns blue.
That's sweet. So there
Everybody
is
got some.
so everybody's got one of them. So you can do it if you've got a science lab in your back garden.
Yeah, or a Bunsen burner.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, that's again like another topic that we were talking about that over there, though, weren't we? About that. And I didn't know the ammonium existed, so it was a new one on me.
I think ammonium is normally a solid because I've used it before as ammonium nitrate, as like a fertilizer.
Yeah.
Which you can't get hold of now because they used to make bombs out of it. Fertilizer bombs, yeah.
And then there's the topic of koi salinity levels in there, the natural osmosis, which quite interesting.
We have got a copy.
Yeah, I've got a question about salinity.
Right.
If you salt your pond and you spawn your koi in that pond, will the salinity kill or affect the eggs?
Well, if it helps to answer this, my dad salts both of his ponds. These aren't koi, obviously, these are goldfish, but obviously very similar. Both of them at 0.3, and his fish spawned last summer, and I've been spawning for several summers before, and all his fry, well, not all of them, obviously, but he gets fry every year. So
right, yeah. So they must be tolerant to the salt then,
to a certain level, yeah. Because the koi's body is 0.9% on the osmosis. So as long as the water, as long as what I think the reading what we said. Have you got the reading so we could show it up, Gaz?
That we were talking about earlier today. I mean,
0.3 to 0.6, isn't it? That's the sort of safe-ish zone.
Let me see if I can find it again, bud.
I usually sort my pond at around about September, October, ready for the winter to 0.3. Back in October, I actually sorted my koi pond to 0.45.
Yeah.
All because I made a cock up with the calculations.
But what I'm trying to say is, I'm not very good at articulating things, is if a koi's body regulates osmosis at 0.9, anything below 0.9 really will not make a difference, if you get what I mean, because it's still not allowed, because it's an exchange membrane, I think what it was.
Balance the salt out, going through the osmosis through the skin.
That's it. Yeah, something membrane, I think it is, the gills and the thing. So, and it does say, if you don't bring up the osmosis balance closer to the koi's osmosis balance, it doesn't really do effect.
It's the koi's body and gills work as a semi-permeable membrane.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the salinity of 0.9, so the pond water is less concentrated with salt than the koi's body. Here, the koi body and its gills work as a semi-permeable membrane. Therefore, as per rule, the osmosis, the solvent, in this case the water, will try to move towards the body of the koi. As a result, the koi, especially its kidneys, have to put more effort in to remove the water from its body. But if you give them a salt bath, where the salinity of the bathing water is higher than the koi's body, the water will easily come out of the koi's body due to the higher salinity outside. This means less effort for the koi, and it can use the energies to deal with other things such as fighting illnesses, infections, parasites.
You'll like this one, Gaz. Koi Waffling has just said, answering the questions without Google will give the viewer confidence in your collective ability.
That's ANC koi.
Well, koi waffling, if you listened and ever actually paid any attention, none of this is any of us turning around, stipulating and stating that we know any of it. It's a general discussion for people to come along and not be a smart ass and pay attention to the video. So, have that one back at you, mate.
Yeah.
You know what day it is, don't you?
Go on.
You know what day it is, don't you?
I know what day it is. Yeah.
Payday. So it's time for people to pay the rent. And us being here, he's living in his head rent-free. So it's absolutely fine. But this is the point. And this is why I love live streams like this, because it's a collective group of people that are coming together to find answers to the questions that not everybody is 100% versed in.
Yeah, that's
nobody.
There's no point or at any time have I ever claimed to know anything or everything about koi keeping. Hence the reason why it'd be a pond talk would be and is a good idea for people to be able to come along, sit here, have a chat, talk and discuss it, because there's 26 people in here. 26 people, as well as us 5, is a lot more people to bounce ideas off with your own opinions. So that's why I thought that this chat
you were that cough.
people to basically chew it
I've
over.
always had it. Well, I'll be one of those 26 guys, because just in the corner there, I've got actually the YouTube chat box open, so I can talk to people in the chat box.
So what do you think then? By adding a salt solution lower than 0.5 of the koi, yes, it will aid in just somewhat.
There you go. That's the answer. It'll aid in somewhat. Adding some form of salt to help your fish having to do less work is an aid. And any aid's got to be a plus, not a negative.
But it's not purely that for that reason putting salt in, is it? Because to try and control parasites, make it a hostile environment for the parasites.
Yeah, that's it.
Also, sorting your pond canal with the slime cloak production from a koi.
Yeah.
Are you salty mine as a parasite?
There's got to be a reason behind it, aren't there? The Japanese use it, and they always have done, and they swear by it. So I mean,
yeah, they don't treat their mud ponds for parasites or anything, do they?
No. So I mean, if
they lime them to start with, but then
the guys that we know. Sorry, Daz, go on.
I say that they lime them to start with. When they
nuke
train
them. Yeah, completely neutralize everything and start the process from scratch. So I mean, if it's good for the guys that we all purchase as fish from as experts and the best producers of koi, surely to God it's good for us in as koi ponds. I would say.
I do actually know a few people that say what they call going old school, rather than throwing parasite treatments such as FMG, malachite, Alprex, and all that into a pond. They're going what they call old school with simple water changes and salting the pond.
Yeah.
I do think there was another question here that I saw just before. It was something that DT Koi put up, and it was questioning, what do you think? There we go. Koi foods. What do you recommend? JPD, or something else? Anybody's preference foods that you would, recommend? Some that you use yourself or you do use yourself.
I currently use food that I buy from Carpco, which is OSW. It's a 40% protein. It's very, very similar to Coppens. But one food I have been looking at trying is Akari Gold. What that's going to do for me this year, because I do want to grow some of my smaller koi up in size a bit, because they have been small for rather a while now.
Yeah.
Well, Mick, you was talking about running an experiment, weren't you, with Akari alongside Coppens, and just to see if it does perform as the claims state for colour enhancing and everything.
Bear with me 30 seconds, guys, while I just step out and just give my wife a quick lift. 1 second. I shall just take myself out. You guys keep discussing what you're talking about. There's enough of you to entertain the other people.
From his own
the OSW food I use, main 3 ingredients, if I remember these right, is spirina. Is it spirina, EF, orange, EF, and wheat germ? As I say, it's 40% protein. It's their equivalent to Coppens. I pay around about £6.50 a kilo for that. Whereas the Akari Gold, for half a kilo, it's about 12.5 quid, and a 2 kilo sack is 36 quid. I'm looking at possible other foods this year so that I can get my smaller koi to grow a bit more this year, and to see if there's any real difference between going for a more higher priced koi food than sticking to the one that I'm already using.
Yeah. Is it what? So you're feeding a 40% protein based food?
Yeah.
At the moment. So how old are your fish? Are they tosai or younger? Or
all my fish, all my koi in my pond range from it'll be 4-inch right up to 22-inch.
Right.
So I've not got one particular size. I've got a mixture of sizes. So yeah, you've got the small ones at 4-inch. And my biggest has got to be pushing 22-inch now.
So yeah, ideally you need to diversify on 2 types of food then, don't you? One for higher protein for your smaller fish, and then the larger fish don't need as much protein of them, right? Because anything over 38% protein for, say, 2-year-old fish and over, I'm sure it goes back into the water column.
It's overkill, yeah. They can't process.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think I've heard that somewhere or listened to that somewhere. Yeah, the first 2 parts of the year in first 2 years of their life, that's when they absorb and grow the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feed all my fish, my koi, my goldfish, my stream and river fish, such as tench, gudgeon, rudd, blue wolf, and gudgeon. They all get the same food.
All right, okay.
So at the moment, I'm feeding the cockney koi Yumitsu sinking wheat germ. But during the summer months, I use a mixture of the 3 and 6 mil OSW through the summer months.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
Sorry, I was about to say, your food you feed at the moment with the wheat germ or anything, do you get any color? Do you get any food color, the water discoloration or anything like that?
I've not noticed any difference, any changes in the coloration or clarity of the water by using the food I'm using.
I did notice last year I used some Ikari Gold colour enhancing, and I did notice a tinge of brown to my pond water last year. And it only took a case of banging in a little bit of filter floss, which drew it out again. But I did notice a slight tinging with that. But I did also notice a hell of a lot of colour enhancement to my fish and better growth. So
I've just noticed.
But I don't feed like 6, 7, 10 times a day like some folk do, but either.
I've just noticed the Twisted Bifter has just joined us in the chat.
Welcome to the chat, Vince. The Twisted Bifter.
It was me that actually named his place Twisted Towers.
So Phillips Alpha Koi made a good point. He said JPD all seasons for colder months and Sakai Hikari for the summer. I'm happy that this is the best regime for my fish, and I find it generates less waste.
And it generates a what, sorry?
Less waste.
Yeah. I've got to admit, with my fish being on wheat germ now, they do seem to be producing a lot of waste and do produce a lot of waste when at the end of the season when I were feeding them wheat germ as well. So I mean that could be the type of wheat germ that they're on, and it might be worthwhile looking into for some slightly better. I mean, a lot of people feed wheat germ with garlic as well, though, don't they? So that it helps with the parasite. I don't know. Does that work? Has anybody had any experience with that as to whether or not they think it's wheat germ and garlic is good and makes a difference towards parasites? Or I'm guessing that's the reason for it, because most parasites.
Well, normally you use garlic in fish food to encourage fish to eat that aren't typically eaten in the first place. I know that's what we do in the tropical side of things. I know a lot of the medications that you put in the water column, like if it's medicated food, that's got garlic on it, because obviously, as you can imagine, you put a paracetamol, sprinkling it over a sandwich, it's going to taste like paracetamol on a sandwich, isn't it? Whereas you overlay that with garlic, yes, it's still on there, but the garlic's a lot more overpowered than natural medicine in the first place. So it's a little bit swing and a miss. That's my best analogy that I can come up with when I first did that.
Yeah. Well, when I went over to Mad Dog's the other day, he'd been feeding his fish with the same food he'd been feeding before, but he'd mixed garlic in, and they have packed some serious weight on. Whether that's got any relevance, I don't know. But they were eating for England. They love the stuff.
I know a bit about the garlic side of it. The garlic, when fish digest the garlic, it makes the fish sweat, like a kind of sweat,
like a curry sweat.
Yeah, apparently so. It makes sweat, and they, the the parasites and stuff like that, they don't like the taste of it.
Yeah.
And I think it's I think it dehydrates. It dehydrates the parasites, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
can understand that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, saying that they reckon, like with other animals and stuff, if you give them capsules, it tends to keep, like fleas and ticks and stuff away because they don't like the taste of the garlic, etc., and all that kind of thing.
Mosquitoes as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it has a negative effect towards some of them. I don't know if that's the case of what it is with in koi, or whether or not.
Yeah.
Again, you can give garlic capsules to dogs to help bring out the better coats and such like that. So if that does better for the body, it might be the same case as like adding cod liver oil was better for your joints and such. I'm guessing there's natural remedies, natural plants and such like that do tend to play a lot of role in a lot of medicines and modern medicines. So maybe it is a bit of an anti or booster in a shape.
And like I say, it's good. It's like I say, we eat garlic, and that helps our red blood cell count and stuff like that, don't it?
Yeah.
It's good for the blood.
Yeah. But they also say sells a glass of red wine a day too. But how much? Apparently, for people with heart conditions, are supposed to enjoy a glass of red wine per day. Oh, at least that's my dad's excuse. Could just be the fact that I enjoys a glass of red wine. Right, so we had a couple more questions. Now then, one that we did bring up and one that Gary did mention is are ghost koi considered a true koi or not a koi at all? What's your opinions on that one, guys? What do you think? And everybody out there, what do you think? Do you think a ghost koi is a true koi, or is it actually? Is that what you were meaning, Gaz? By it? In the question, that's right.
Yeah. There are differing views on this, where many koi owners, especially when you got that perfect specimen, no defects and everything, that there are many koi hobbyists that don't recognise a ghostie as a true koi breed.
Well,
and
but then
therefore
again,
had one.
What about magoi? That I'm
So
recognised.
I've not heard that word before. What's that one?
That's basic. It's a koi, but it looks just like a wild common carp.
So ghost koi are genetically identical to true nishigoi, while wild armor carp species may have separated from the koi carp in looks due to hybridizing the two varieties. They are still very much the same species and are able to produce fertile offspring.
Yeah, because they come from Germany in 1904. A Japanese gentleman took they took a bunch of leather carp and meercarp over.
Yeah, this is the video that I was trying to play, mate. Go on, crack. I found that really interesting when you shared that today.
And then only 6 fish survived. 1 mirror, 6 leather. And they bred them with some other carp in Japan. So, and they started seeing colour in the fish. So surely a ghost koi would have been a precursor to what we've got.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So technically, then, what you're saying is, yes, it is.
Yeah, 100%.
It is.
But a lot of
There's a
people
few
don't.
comments saying no, but it is.
But
Yeah.
it's
an early prototype koi.
Yeah. And they're called nishigoi, where if you all look up now, butterfly koi are not nishigoi. They're something else.
Yeah, they've got 4 barbels, haven't they? Whiskers.
Yes, they don't go into the same bracket.
I think they come from a different subrace of carp, wild carp.
Yes.
I'm not sure whereabouts they come from. Are they from China?
As far as I know, from what I've read on, found and researched everything, ghost carp, they are a cross of either a common or mirror carp with a platinum or Yamabuki Ogun, and they were first bred right here in the UK in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's an interesting fact.
Because it was very popular in the 80s. I remember going around at garden centres.
Wow.
They'd all
So
got
no,
them
there
for
wasn't.
sale.
So there wasn't the first precursor then, was there? It was
That's only what I found out on, I can't remember the website I was reading it on now. It is quite a big fish website from this country.
Yeah,
it would make sense
have
though.
them in the ponds because that
It would make sense because it's got a metallic luster on, haven't they?
Yeah.
Just to go back one for Dave at DT Koi, there is obviously that one that needs to be mentioned, which is Takazumi cupcakes, 100% thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Which, to be fair, Vince can't knock it with the growth that you've got on those fry with it, mate. So it must be doing some good, and it must be of a good feed. But obviously, you have fed them half the contents of the kitchen fridge as well with that Takazumi. So you've got a lot of growth by giving them a good variation of healthy foods as well as
the water changes.
Water changes, as we were discussing at the show, but the auction the other day when we were there with him. So can't knock that stuff, Vince. It definitely does what it says, growth for sure.
Telford just said, "I don't remember the 80s. Did I miss something?"
Like him and that moustache didn't miss the 80s. Yeah, right. He was smack banging there, him and Maverick.
I was just a wee pup in the 80s. Blimey.
So Vince says, of course, a ghost isn't a koi. Obviously, just having a quick fact check on Google, it just come up that it is. Sam says, explain your statements, please. I know we said it's an abomination, just like a butterfly koi. I'm not disputing that. Obviously, a butterfly isn't a koi because it's got the 4 barbels. Is there any reason? Obviously, you've spent a lot of time around different farms and stuff. Is there any reason why you personally would class it as not a koi? That'd be an interesting one.
And the way I look at it, whether it be a kahaku, a chagoi, a sanki, a showa, whatever, even a ghosty, the way me and Kaz, she'll just say a fish is a fish. But to me, if it's a koi breed, it's a koi.
Yeah. And you can
cross, like you say,
butterflies with koi.
It's an abomination, just like the butterfly.
But beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Vince, the question was, do you like ghost koi or would you have one? It was more a case of, is it a true line of koi or is it not? And I think, from what Jack found, it is, but I always thought it wasn't, to be fair. I didn't think it were. But again, I suppose you can find different information. But yeah, they're not honestly, Vince, I've got to agree with you, they're not my cup of tea, but I do like a butterfly koi. I think
I like the butterfly, yeah.
I think a butterfly can have add a little bit of grace to it.
Skeggy says a ghosty is just a metallic.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to apologise, guys, because there's that many comments coming in here. There's no way I can keep up with all this. Like, this is absolutely.
I can see on my YouTube channel.
We'll take it from there.
Yeah, I can see on my my YouTube chat box here in the corner. The comments are flying up the chat box so fast I can't even keep up.
Phil from Telford Koi says his fingers are aching for signing so many autographs. I guess that must have been from the event at the weekend.
Well, I've got another one if you want it, guys.
Another one? Go on, yeah, fire away, yeah, mate. Definitely.
Now, you saw this one on my Facebook group on the garden earlier at the same time I did. And forgive me, guys, for the way this reads, because I'm just going to read it the way the guy that was asking the question asked it. Should fish be left bare in the sense of pond insulation, pond covers, eating, padded winter jackets for your fish, or should they be heated and protected and everything? What do you guys think?
I'll let them take the chances. I think when you mollycoddle them,
you make them weaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to have a season.
Never lost a fish through cold. I mean, if your pond was like 6 inches deep, then yes, you need to do something. But as long as you've got sufficient depth on your pond, leave them well alone. Just let them overwinter naturally.
I I don't think there's anything wrong with like what I've done insulation. I mean, and again, to an extent, I don't think there's any. I get what you're saying, but I don't think there's anything wrong with keeping them up a little bit if you can, just to help them from going down to minus temperatures is no. I mean, it's no good for anything, is it? Well,
Yeah, but you're 10 degrees colder than everyone else.
exactly. I mean, if I could afford to do it, I might keep them at a certain temperature so they didn't get, much lower than perhaps maybe 7 or 8 degrees.
Yeah,
if I can afford to. But to me, if you've got enough brass to be going out there and doing it, because to me it's a financial thing, that's the reason why I don't. If you've got enough money to be going out there and doing it, then you're better than me, because I simply could not. Not with these prices and how things have gone up as they are right now.
I mean, 10 degrees, isn't it? 10 degrees, I think, if people who keep them, who've got the them heater systems. But I could go out there now, the water's probably from on the surface, it's going to be say 6, 7.
Yeah.
The other day it was 12, but 5 foot down, it's going to be 2, 3 degrees warmer.
Yeah, because you've got your thermobaric layer.
Yeah.
And then below that, it'll be even colder.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a few comments coming in. I mean, Graham Taylor says no real point in insulation on a raised pond unless it's heated. In-ground ponds of natural insulation anyway. Zero Cool says putting a thin plastic sheet over a non-heated pond is doing nothing at all. I agree.
Yeah.
Seaver says, as Jack mentioned earlier, keep the pond and the fish in a stable environment. Heating the pond at a stable temperature helps with this. The swings in temperatures over the last week does help them. I mean, at the end of the day, for me, it's just adding to making that fish bulletproof. I mean, if you're constantly, like Dad said, just mollycoddling your fish constantly, then any little issue they've got, they're going to be so susceptible to it. It's untrue.
Yeah. See, go on, sorry, mate. Go on.
No, go on.
I was just going to say, the other thing is, as Phil's just said there, as Skeggy's just said there, if you've got your pond filter system running and you're taking out water from the bottom and you're feeding it back in through your filter system and returning it back at the top, then all you're doing is chilling your pond more. If you've got mid-water returns and your pump's raised off the floor, which you can't do with a bottom drain, then you're not. So it all depends on how, again, you filter your pond as well, I would have said.
But Koi Beginnings has put, again, difference between surviving and thriving with heating and unheating. I disagree totally. The sumi of a Shiro Tsuri will come out an awful lot better in cold weather. A Kahaku will come out an awful lot better in cold weather. So your different temperature fluctuations do various different things. The Goshikis, or Goshkis as people keep asking me to refer it to us, the Goshiki, for me, comes out an awful lot better in cooler temperatures.
Yeah.
So it swings and roundabouts. If you give your fish that sort of natural selection, that sort of natural carry through of the seasons. I mean, you look at some of the carp that you pull out when you go fishing. Some of them are absolutely stunning, and some of the best carp you'll ever capture when you're winter fishing.
Exactly. Yeah, the deep bronze colours really pop in the cold weather.
Again, they've got this message back from Telford Coy. I'm with Daz going to complete rethink my heating regime this season. Going to give the heat pump the ramp up over the summer and then give them a proper winter. I think that all forms of fish, carp, coy carp, all need to winterize. All need some form of
just to get the cycle right. So there's more time and everything.
A lot of people might disagree with that. And a lot of people might agree with it, but personally, my opinion is I've never had a heater on my pond. My dad's kept fish for 25 years plus, if not longer, and he's never had a heater on his pond, and he's not had anything or any issues where he's lost fish due to cold weather. Apart from one where, he had one that actually looked like it got frozen in a slight pocket of ice, and he melted it with lukewarm water around it, and fish just swum off.
Yeah.
Don't know. I'm not seeing it with there long. It might have just been a matter of, a short period of time, or it just appeared like it was in some form of we could see it quite clearly in what looked like it was in the ice, and it weren't moving when we tapped on it, but he poured warm water over it just to melt that little patch area, and then left a ball in the pond then to stop that area from freezing up so he could just, have something moving around on pond being blown about, and that's thing to stop the pond from freezing up. But that's the worst I've ever seen on his. But personally, for me, I've never had anything like that. I've never had my pond. I keep my air moving and my pump running. I've never even had the surface freeze over, and it gets a damn sight colder up here in Yorkshire than what it does down there where all you southern people are.
Yeah, I like that southern people.
I know.
You had to restrain yourself then,
like
didn't you?
I'm probably about the most southern person on it out of the five.
Definitely, are, mate, 100%. It's definitely warmer. They were talking about me and Gary were talking about temperatures down there tonight before we came on, and he's like, to me last night it dropped down to -1 down here. I'm saying down here, up here, -1 for me last night. Absolutely freezing. Come out this morning, full covering of snow. Go to work, drive over to Manchester, come back over. Nothing, completely gone. Set off this morning, full covering, 3 inches of snow. Everything, pond and water covered, come back, completely gone.
Where Go on, Dad.
No, go on, guys. Go, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say where Gaz was mentioning Skeggy's comment, what he said there in the comments was thermobaric layers do not happen in ponds with bottom drains, and Zero Koi, he says that Japan has snow in the winter, they don't heat or cover their mud ponds, so in that sense, why do we do the same with ours?
Keeping the north-south divide alive. Somebody's got to do it, mate. The words never left my mouth anyway, like you guys are insinuating that.
Yeah.
No, but you guys definitely down there do 100% have a lot warmer temperatures than what we are.
Oh,
Jack, yours is very similar to what I get over here, but that's
so high.
down yours, and your trees in full blossom like it's well into spring. Whereas up here, I'm only just getting buds coming on most of my plants and gardens. So definite difference just going that little bit further south.
Yeah.
What
was that?
Go on, Jack. Or Mick.
No, I was like, you go. What was that question you was asking?
What, me?
Yeah. You
the question. Where's it gone? I've lost it. Yeah. Should fish be left bare, so no insulation, no heating, no covers, or should they be insulated and heated and covered?
Well, apparently, isn't it? If you heat a pond, it's got to be over 17 degrees, otherwise it makes no difference for the growth of the fish. If you heat it less than that, then the fish is whatever it's eating, it's using up to process that food. So you're just treading water. You're not gaining anything from it.
There's a question there from Jamie. It says, "Why are koi so different to mirror and common carp?" Well, the biology, biology-wise, I don't believe the answer.
Exactly. Just in breeding that makes them weaker, really.
Yeah. And that's why I was going to ask Daz. Do you think it will get to everybody who's watching and the panel? Do you think it will get to the point where they have to diversify and bring another carp species in? Because all they're doing at the moment is diluting the stock. Every year they breed.
Yeah, and this is why you struggle to attain decent size out of a lot of fish, because the level of inbreeding just restricts the growth as it does any animal. The way to stop that is backcross it with wild carp.
Koi farms, but surely he's buying a fish from there to breed. He's buying a fish from there to breed. Eventually, there's a close loop, isn't there, where there's nowhere else to get genetics from.
I mean, in other animals, you have like a stud book, so that the inbreeding doesn't happen. But I don't think that happens with fish. It's just a bit random. But I know a lot of the koi guys in Japan, they do a program of backcrossing with like mirrors and wild carp to increase the size. But the problem is it's the time that's involved, because you're talking probably about 10 years for that to come to fruition. It's a long-term plan, and that costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Vincent Twisted Koi, he just commented, ornamental fish have had the wildness bred out of them.
Yeah. Well, to an extent, that's exactly what he's saying there, because because the gene pool is so narrow, then yes, they really have, because there is no more of that wild gene in them anymore. You go to selective line breeding again and again and again and keep going back through the same generations, you're getting nothing new. There's no new bloodline. There is no more. But I think, is Jamie meaning what's the difference between koi's, the anatomy, because the anatomy of the two fish is identical, mate. Yeah. The only difference that there is between the ornamental side of it and wild one is
pigmentation
and how we've changed them in the keeping of them.
Yeah. They were man-made.
If you put them up and look at them, they're identical, mate. Exactly. So.
Even the pigmentation affects the way that they grow. Like single-coloured fish grow much faster and bigger than, say, three-coloured fish, tricoloured fish.
I mean, Deutz. Vince.
That's.
I'll tell you about Deutz fish. It's amazing what growth he's had this year compared to a scaled and a ginrin.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you look at mirror carp, generally tend to grow faster and bigger than common carp.
Common carp, yeah.
Because I suppose they're not putting that extra growth and production of and such into the scales.
Yeah.
Kawagi says, get a common or mirror carp or both in your pond.
Yes.
I've got to admit, Kawagi, I think I could have one of Daz's, because your stem ones that you've got, mate, stunning. Those little mirrors, you've got some beauties, mate. I would quite like a mirror carp, especially Daz has got some from his last lot.
Some
Ginrin mirrors on them, and they're unbelievable. They are absolutely. I mean, I'd love to see them fish 60 cm, mate, because like sparkly as what it is now, they're going to be something else. Then they really will.
Yeah. The German Chags he's got as well, the spectacular.
Yeah.
They've got the chocolate, little bars of chocolate with nice silver flecks are beautiful.
See there, we've got a comment there from Daz. He's saying his cherry blossom doesn't even have buds on it yet, because you're floating down there at the coast, mate, aren't you? So you get those freezing cold temperatures again.
I'm pretty deep in petals today. They're all blown in blooming tunnel.
It looked like it was snowing over there when we were there.
Going by a comment I just seen, we've got to all start singing the Brady Bunch song, because Zero Koi says the screen is like looking at the Koi Brady Bunch.
Don't know who that is.
Yeah. Well, join the Brady Bunch then, mate. Love to see you.
Do we want another one, guys?
Yeah, fire away. Yeah, do it.
Right. Winter feeding, yes or no?
Me, no.
Me, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, okay, then we'll start with Jack. Why no?
Simply due to the temperatures that I get. So where we're at, our house is actually named crosswinds, because we literally get north, south, east and west winds. So if someone half a mile down the road has got an inch of ice on their pond, I've got 4 or 5, literally, because it's so bitterly cold up on the hill. Now in the summer, granted, it's mint, because we're an awful lot warmer than somebody that's half a mile down the road. So for me, I'd either the ice that's on my pond, or B, when they go into a torpedo state. So I don't believe in feeding when they're in that kind of torpedo state.
Okay, Gaz, why yes?
Well, obviously it's a lot milder where I am. It certainly has been this winter. And if they're up and about, swimming around, up on the top, if they'll have food, I'll feed them. Because I think it's a long time to go through the winter without any food. And the other thing as well, it packs a little bit of weight on, keeps them ticking over. So from my point of view, whatever they're feeding, especially leading up to spring, then I'm potentially going to get more spawn out of them. The other thing as well, you get that start-up period in the spring with the bacteria and such with your filters. If you've been feeding them and it's been sort of trickling through, I don't know, it's probably not quite such a quick start-up in the spring. It's more gradual.
Yeah, I feed mine sinking wheat germ down to as low as 8 degrees. Lower than that, I don't feed at all. Skeggy's just said he feeds his down to 4 degrees. what would you guys all say? What is the lowest temperature that you would stop feeding?
So mine is 10.
They won't eat.
Yeah,
To me, I do what Daz said. Like, I mean, for example, when mine have dropped down into the bottom and gone into torpor, that's it. They don't get no more. If I check my water and it's above 10 degrees and they're up there actively looking for food, I'll give them a bit, should they be interested. But it'll only be, you know, I might throw 4 or 5 pellets on and see what they react to it. If they come up and leave it, then I'll scooping them off and I'll leave them be. But I genuinely try not to feed them below 10 and just leave them and let them do it. But if they come up above and they're, you know, it's a nice warm sunny day and they start coming up and showing signs again, then yes, they get some food. But I think it's each to their own on that one. At the end of the day, your fish will tell you. I mean, a lot of people that might say yes and no might be people that have heated ponds and unheated ponds. You know, if you're heated, you know, you can feed them all year round, can't you? But
yes, that's what I'm saying. Like winter for me. When I say no, I don't feed during winter. It's not like the moment winter strikes in like early December that it's like, bam, that's it, I'm not feeding anymore. If my pond is below 10 degrees and they're up at about, say, it's 8 or 9, then like you say, I'll give them a small amount.
Yeah.
But anything lower than that, because not so much, I mean, could begin to put that's why you cover your pond to stop from wind chill. There's no point. It's the atmospheric pressure, it's the atmospheric temperature that's freezing my pond because I'm so high. Like it's when people realise. I mean, Daz, every time we get up that bank in the van now, it's ridiculous.
It is. I mean, I'm going up to Alsage's bank or wherever it is. You go through big patches of snow. And lower down, there's nothing.
Yeah.
You are definitely.
It was freezing. It was freezing last night.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So for me, my fish will go into a state of torpor an awful lot faster than the majority of other people's fish will. But then again, mine will come out of torpor an awful lot faster than the majority of people's will. So if they're up and about and it's over 7 degrees, then yes, I'll feed. If they're not interested, I'll net it off straight away, and then I'll try them again in 3-4 days. But that's my answer to winter feeding.
Black Country Koi bloke, Davey Koi, he says here, if mine want it, they get it no matter what the temperature is.
And have you ever had any problems with it, Black Country Koi? Has it ever had any adverse effects? Has it ever been an issue? If not, then well, I guess it's the same old, isn't it? Whatever works for you and works for your pond and works for your fish, whatever they're used to is going to be. I mean, we could sit here and chew over and argue over it, that whether or not it's right or wrong, but we're only giving our opinions of what we do, what works for us.
At the end of the day, if it was detrimental, they'd ban carp fishing in the winter, wouldn't they, I suppose?
Yeah, I agree.
No,
bloke says none at all. He's had no issues.
So I guess it really depends on each individual.
Yeah. And this is what it's about, isn't it?
Exactly.
Everybody's just koi keeping different. That's why we make this live chat, so we could talk.
I've seen on many Facebook groups and YouTube and everything that you got 2 different sides of the sword. You got people that say what works for one will work for everyone regardless. Yet you got the other side that say every pond is different, every fish is different, and there's more than one way to doing things. And what works for one may not necessarily work for the rest of the world.
Yeah. The prime example there, where Skeggy says, with having sturgeon in his pond, you've got to keep on. You got to feed them. So I mean, how do you not feed your sturgeon? Sorry, feed your sturgeon, not feed your others. If they move with food and the spot feeding is only to a point. If the fish move to that spot, then you snook it, aren't you? Because they're taking what's there.
Yeah. But again, if they're moving over, then in turn they're free swimming. They're not on tour. Feed.
In another aspect, because my ghosted, I had in the koi bowl a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't mention about it in the last couple of videos. I'm having to feed that one medicated food. So for me to give that to him, as soon as I throw that in, the rest of them are just going to knock him out of the way and grab the lot. So I've got no choice but to feed medicated food to all the fish.
Just Googling Healy lessons for Gaz. Cheers, Zero Cool. The other one there where it says we can start with Punjabi first. Anyway. Well, excuse me. That was funny. That
I've got one more if you want it.
Yeah, go on. We'll make this the last question then, guys. We'll have. There are a couple of other people that I've put in there that the Graham there. He feeds his fish wheat germ and garlic, and they come up usually at 8+ degrees. If they sit on the bottom, then no. That's it. I think technically you can read your fish and read your pond and read its environment and how your fish are acting. They're telling you whether or not they want food. At the end of the day, if they're chasing around outside at pond walls eating algae, the damn things are hungry and they need food. So give them some, because obviously they're actively searching for it. But if you're having to, looking at them and they're right down at the bottom and they don't even responding to you coming out to the pond, and obviously they're in torpor and they're not doing no and they don't need no.
Yeah.
Right. So my last one then, and it kind of comes from where Jack's video the other week, where he was talking about culling. Is that when people go out and buy their koi and they're looking at koi, they want that absolute 100% perfect specimen, no blemishes, no marks, nothing. And then later on, you see people that have got koi in their ponds where they get rid of it, they cull it or move it on just because it's got that one discoloured scale. So what is it about having that 100% perfect koi rather than, say, like one of mine, I know it's got a tumorous eye. And another one of mine's got a problem with its spine, but I'm not going to move that on or cull it just because of those things. So why are people so obsessed with the 100% perfect specimen?
There's no such thing as a perfect koi at all.
No. That's a good question.
There's definitely no perfect koi in my pond at the minute.
I got one. Yeah, well, you're doing it for a purpose, though, mate, aren't you, President? Yeah. I've got a question here that's. Oh, hang on, where did that go? There's. Wrong one. Sorry, my bad. Would Shabubkins crossbreed with koi?
Yes.
Well, Vince's answer here is no, Jamie. Well, I can tell you right now, Vince, you're incorrect 100% because we've got a Shabubkin cross koi in his garden pond right now, and I will quite happily net it up for you and show it you. Yeah. It looks a lot more like a butterfly koi, but it isn't a butterfly koi, and it came from a koi breeder over in Flamborough of the East Coast, and he had literally Shabubkin males with his females, thinking that nothing would happen, and they spawned. So, yeah.
I've had a short-bodied goldfish with a koi head and barbels.
Yeah, because obviously originally it was the king carp that bred with the goldfish to create the koi, and that's all the Shabubkin is. It's just a variation of a goldfish. So yes, is the answer to that question. It will spawn with the koi.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody was interested in seeing it, I will more than happily, next time I go around to my dad's, I will net up that Shabubkin koi cross and you can have a look at it. To be fair, it's beautiful. Quite like it. It's probably a really nice fish.
Mine was called Tracer.
You've got to look at crucian carp, the amount of controversy with those, where they breed with brown goldfish and other carp. So I think they're quite promiscuous carp in general, aren't they?
I've actually got 2 crucian carp in my small pond.
No, I think they're absolutely beautiful fish, the crucian carp. One of my favourite fish to have ever gone out.
It's got 5.
Yeah, stunning. I'm going to bring up this little comment here because it made me laugh. Amazing koi tent. Aha, get it? Koi tent. Appreciate that one, Tash.
Ginger Viking has come up with a totally different question. If building a pond from scratch, do you dig down, up, or both?
Big props to April as well, because April jumped straight in on this one with the right answer. Both.
Yeah, both.
Depends how.
So the reason for both. Does anybody else want to answer the reason for both?
Is that this question that we're asking?
Yeah.
For everybody to see. Totally different question. If building a pond from scratch, do you dig down? Yeah, no, I'm just reading that again. Yeah, fire away.
Carry on, guys.
No, I thought I was answering that one. Go on. It's difficult when there's 5 of us. Go on.
One starts coughing.
Age before beauty.
Ah, there you go, Gaz. Age before beauty.
Go on, Ed. How old are you,
Both.
mister?
28.
Bollocks.
28.
You look older than me.
Built like a machine.
So go on then. Give the ginger Viking anyway. That'll be good, mate. Give him his question.
No, all I was saying, Dad, was you reading out the same question I just did.
So I personally build down for both because obviously a lot of your water pressure is going to sit at the bottom of your pond. So if you've got it interlocked underground, even if it's just a foot, I mean, at the end of the day, you can do either. It's absolutely fine. But for complete and utter peace of mind, do a little bit of both.
Yeah, I'd do both. You're not
Yeah,
doing that much either.
Go on, Dad.
Because getting rid of the spoil is the major pain.
Yeah, I know watching Koi Pond Live. Sorry, Dad. I know watching Koi Pond Lifestyle. He was talking about that a bit about whether to lay your blocks flat or to have them on their side. And he spoke to someone, a professional bloke, about building his pond, and he was saying that water pressure in a pond won't go that way; it'll go down there now.
Yes, it's always the bottom that bust out first. Yeah.
So then building it in, so putting so much into the ground, you can have your blocks up that way.
Because his blocks are that way, aren't they? Upwards.
I know the first lot of these ones are flat, the ones that are in the ground.
Yeah.
And then the ones above ground are upright.
Yeah.
Koi Beginnings has just said you use both unless you're in a shop. To be fair, I didn't have a choice in mine at all. But I've got about 8 ton of water and it's all holding.
When you come back in the morning, you would flow that.
Nah, it's been there all day. It's been sound.
Has it?
All three of them are full now, so it's holding. You've only got the 80 litres for the free for your pods when you put them in, mate, and you're laughing. Diamond now. Chris, the Gummy Koi Keeper, turning up. Evening all. Evening, Chris. Hope you're good, mate. Skeggy, actually, to give him a quick shout out, Skeggy actually did talk about on one of his videos. So, I mean, if everybody's interested in listening to the theory behind it, about the pressure pushing down and all the rest of it. So, you know, if anybody wants to get a little bit of insight onto some of the information about it, he did do a video on it. So, if I could give you a link, mate, I definitely would.
I'm glad you brought that up because it was just a Mad Dog's pond exactly like that, and that's put my mind at rest. At least I'm rest assured it's not going to collapse now.
Oh God, no! The way you built that, definitely not.
No, it's bomb
Looks
proof.
incredible, that was.
Yeah. If Russia pressed that red button, I'm heading there. I'll be safe.
Yes, Skeggy's just mentioned about that then. The pressure is mostly the bottom third. Koi Pond Lifestyle also used 140mm 7N blocks, not the standard size.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
There you go. April's put Dazzy's channel link there.
Thank you very much, April. Appreciate that. So you found your spanner.
Yeah, he's here.
Has anybody else got any more questions? I'm 3 foot down and 3 foot up, but built the whole pond with high density blocks on the side, flat, but never. But I over-engineer everything. Yeah, true. I mean, end of the day, Phil, if it works and you don't collapse when you fill it, then you know that's your answer to your problem, don't you? Yeah. But how long it lasts for when you've cut corners or you do things that aren't right, I suppose time will tell.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, fire away.
Phil, are you working tomorrow? Because I'm actually in Birmingham, Wolverhampton, Telford and Dudley tomorrow. So I'd love to swing by for a cup of tea with my camera, if you're not at work.
There you go. That's not really technically a question towards the topic of conversation, but it's always good content. There'll be videos to come.
Of course, it was a question about the community.
Anybody else got anything they would like to participate in, join in, or add in before we? Go on, Mick.
So what koi are you all looking for, as in Gary and the viewers? I know what you're looking for, you three, but what will be your number one koi this season you must have, or you would like to have?
I was actually about to ask a very similar question to that one, because obviously where you saw my latest videos, I've just become the owner of an authentic Japanese Sanki. So my favourite koi is a Sanki. I've wanted one for a while. I've now actually got 3. So yeah, my question was going to be for you guys: what is your favourite koi breed?
For us 4, to answer that,
Yeah.
my favourite, well, yeah, I'm going to stick to it. My favourite is the Yamabuki Ogon. That's my favourite fish. But out of them all, I just love the gold.
Yeah,
that's
big shower.
Yeah.
But to answer Mick, you know, what fish would I go for? What I'll be looking for? Yeah, it was the Sanki. I rather than just having one, I now actually have 3. I've got one that's about 4 inch, one that's probably about 6 to 7 inch now, and a new Japanese one that I bought from Koi Water Park a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
I won't mind a nice shower or a high share out your story, is it?
I've got a higher Churi, yeah.
Yeah, I've got.
But I want a share. I want a share now, but I want it from Panda Junior bloodline then.
And if we're going to reference people and reference other bits, it's not a hi, but Suri, it's a he. Just to be the corrector of correctors.
Hi, Suri.
Hi. Whichever it may be, I think it's one or the other, but I would very much one of them too. I would like a hi at Suri or a he at Suri.
Hi.
I would like a shower too.
Yes, hello, Jack.
I'd like.
Sorry.
There's 2 that I would definitely like to get this year, on top of my fish from the Grown Show, and that would be Ayatsuri and a good quality shower. I'd like a nice, good quality shower.
April says the one Jack wouldn't buy me for part of my graduation.
Oh, the Kajaku.
Kajaku.
Yeah.
That's Jack in trouble when he gets home.
No, what it was when we went the Quinn show, there was a Kajaku in there, but I was joking with E saying, why would I pay retail when obviously I can get them in wholesale or complete my own? Now she found one that was absolutely stunning, and I looked at it, but I didn't hear her say, will you get me this for my graduation present? If I would have heard those words, of course I would have put my hand in my back pocket and bought it out. All the way back in the car, the way back, I can't believe you didn't get me that fish. I was like, what? Like, it's a good job, I'll find you another one. She was like, no, I wanted that one as my graduation present. And that point, it was like, my bad.
I really wish I just recorded you at that point, stood at that coffee bar when that conversation were had, because I'd so back you there, April. In fact, I'd back you anyway, April.
So, just to jump on, to do a shameless plug, Phil said he's after a Shiro Tsuri, still hasn't found the one. I actually have 35 Shiro Tsuris coming in 3 weeks' time. So pop on over, Phil. We'll have a little coffee on my little sofa now. It's been reorganised in the store. And we've got a fair old few to be able to view through, mate, and have a look at.
Sweet. There was, I think...
Ginger Viking had a good question. We were on about this earlier on.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, Jamie, there's not a great deal we can do with you there on that struggles unless we were actually there with you. So
I cheat. I take my scrapes, run them 2 miles on the road to the car, go let them have a look.
Where's he based? Where's Jamie based?
Yeah, where are you, Jamie?
I'm going to say the other one would be is either any of us did come down and meet you and see you and come down and. Or
the reason I ask is he's got the Liverpool flag as his logo. So if he's based up in Liverpool, I'm actually in Liverpool on Tuesday, and I can always stop round with one microscope. We do offer a scraping service at Reef Aquatics. So just let me know, bud.
There you go, mate.
I think it's Cambridge.
If you've got someone real close by, take I know actually a lot of fish stores don't particularly like you doing that, do they? Taking your fish there to have it scraped, but maybe for a service of coming to you to have it to do with scrapes. But like you said, Jack's there, he's close by. If you are close by, he's up that way, mate. Ping him, mate, if he can help you.
It's where I'm quite lucky because it's where I was just saying I haven't got a microscope, and I could get one to do it myself, but I take the scrapes and just run them 2 miles on the road to Carpco. They do it for me. Doing it that way, it also gives me an excuse to get out of this place for half an hour.
Zero cool. What I'm going to suggest that we do for this one is slug versus flukes. We leave for next week, and we'll pick that one up there because I do think that's good topic and a good question. And as we are coming up to 2 hours and 10 minutes, we are drawing to the ever closing end of. I've just spotted Jamie Ugill has just answered that all too common dangerous question that always comes up: salt or no salt? Beverly East Yorkshire, Jamie is. So yeah.
I say salt as well.
He's just a Liverpool fan.
Alistair, you had a good question. Ginger Viking.
Where was that one? Last question, that one. If you were a bloke that did landscaping and assorted outdoor work but lived in Nottingham, would you ask him to be up for some work if he could get there? Yeah, it does.
What was the question? I can't read it. It's that small.
Last question. If you knew a bloke who did landscaping and assorted outdoor works but lived in Nottingham, would you ask him if he'd be up for some work and if he could if we could get a quote drawn up?
If only we knew someone.
But no, we're actually about it from the store today. So he's been having quotes and he's been getting like stupid quotes coming back in like 12 to 15 grand. And I said, like, if he is available, I said, why don't you speak to Daz? I was like, because his scope of work that he does is insane.
Oh yeah,
like, beautiful. We've got the availability then.
Yeah, no problem. So long as it's not too far. I mean, whereabouts is he? Yeah, no problem.
He's actually probably closer to you than he is me.
Yeah. Oh, that's even better. Yeah. Dad's working at Wolverhampton this week, so yeah, no problem.
You've got Jack's details anyway, so you can contact him through that, bud, and see if you can get some sort between you.
I'll add into the TBR chat anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Daz, if you don't mind, Daz or Gaz, if Gaz don't mind, give your company shout name out.
No. I've got enough work on, buddy.
I know the mobile number if you want. I will read it out off the top of my head.
I was actually
you were friends.
I was just about to ask Gaz if he'd mind if I be cheeky and rude enough to mention a giveaway I've got going on my channel.
Not at all, mate. Feel free. Plug away.
Yeah, as you guys have seen on my Facebook group as well as YouTube channel, it's going to be drawn next Thursday. We have, sponsored by Filtration, the Hannah Pocket Checker for Total Chlorine.
Show it to your camera, it'd be better for us all.
Yeah, there it is. So it's got the case, it's got the test tubes, it's got the reagent sachets, and even a battery. So yeah, we are going to be giving this away next Thursday on my channel.
Yeah, nice bit of kit.
£69 worth of giveaway. It's a good giveaway, that is.
Giveaway.
So someone will win that.
Can I enter?
Yes.
Yeah, the only person that can't enter is me.
What about your wife? Can she enter?
No.
Kat
can't enter simply because she won't buy me one.
That's terrible.
There you go, Jack. Kobe Beginnings says, don't forget my full set.
Yeah, he's there, mate, at the next meet. Don't worry about that, bud.
Kayagi's put his usual thing. Better don't win.
Oh, Jack.
You need to enter to win.
You need to win it.
Those koi ornaments at Quiddy Koi at the weekend, did you buy one?
Who?
Those little koi ornaments at Quiddy Koi the weekend, did you buy one?
I wish I would have done.
As a quick answer there for Jamie, he's put, thanks guys, when is the next stream? As I think this is great, lads. I appreciate that, Jamie. Thanks very much, mate. The next stream will be exactly the same time next Thursday evening, 7:30 onwards, mate, for as long as we possibly can. And the only reason I would say right now that I am drawing this close to an end, I'm going to say we'll get close to an end, is because I am absolutely starving. And I haven't eaten all day. So at some point, yeah, mate, they're nice. I like them. You showed me these earlier over there. And all.
That's all right, Gaz. You can have your tea while we're talking.
I'll be in there making it. So there's one of them.
Just to let Jack know, I'm also going to be giving these away in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, that they both need to just come to my house to go with my.
I will guarantee a win, mate.
Nice.
To go with my tan show one, so please forward them through.
How do I guarantee a win?
Sorry?
How do I guarantee a win?
Give him a Shiro.
Oh, you got the guarantee to win, Jack.
If you promise to buy me a Draco Minima, I'll chuck this in the post first thing in the morning.
I'll tell you what, I'll trade you them both.
Go on.
I'll give you another Hannah tester to put in your giveaway.
I think you should just send me one anyway.
Yeah, for again, it's still
hang on. Well. I've just sent you 2 water irises. I'm going to be sending you another one, and you want more?
Oh no, this is a trade. This is different. This is a trade.
You'll be wanting one of them next.
I mean, listen, there's space on the hook for the Friday Night Live.
Yeah. I mean, he's got some cups, Gary, so he's sending us all one, so he's going to send you one next year.
Yes, I had a new one turn up the other day.
Been there.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little clip.
Come on, did you just say that out?
Said that out loud, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, don't beat it, mate. That's childish. Not kick it down the garden.
Yeah.
I mean, put it in the cupboard.
Was you joking, guys, when you said Jack's got cups?
No, you can all have your mugs when next time I see you on Sunday. There's no chance I'm posting yours, posting his, and posting his when we're always together at least once a week.
Grab that comment that you just said, record it and play it back and send it to me, because there's 31 people that just witnessed that. I've been told that I get
mugs
for the last 15 years.
The only mug what we'll have in that shop is this free.
Yeah. Most definitely.
No, hopefully Mick and Daz by then, and obviously anybody else that one. My should have been here today, and they haven't turned up, so hopefully they'll be here tomorrow. So there will be one coming down for you, Mick. There will be one for you, Daz. And Jack's already got one, so he doesn't need another one.
Just but whatever.
I look forward to that. I've not started my mug collection yet.
So, Jack, when are you sending me mine to go with these?
So send me your address. Actually, I think I've got the package in here. Yeah. I'll send you one back.
Because I've got one from James. I've got my own. I've got Doris up in Yorkshire.
To be fair, I've got a fair few as well myself now.
Yeah, I've got one from right. He just got ANC coin the other day. So yeah, I've got a little collection going now.
For me, all the money Jack's had for me, and I still ain't got a mug.
The thing is, though, people don't realise they are expensive just to keep banging them out left, right, and centre.
We got guys banging out cups left, right, and centre. They want to say bone china and YouTubers come. And apparently, Gary, it's the law. You can't include your cup.
You can't what?
You can't include your own cup. If I can't include my own cup, have Kaz's instead.
There you go. There's one that I got this from my mother-in-law. Passionate about koi. So if there isn't a channel out there already, there you go. There's a good name.
If I can't include mine, then I'll include
Mugros. I've got my own. Seabers. Pond Life. Gaz's Cool Pond. I did have a scheduled one, but it got broke in transit. A-class koi. A-class koi. And that's it.
Yeah, well, me and Daz ain't got none yet because we keep being offered them. but they don't materialise.
You can have them Sunday.
They're invisible.
Yeah. Somebody make sure you screen grab that little comment there. You can have them Sunday. I'm going to have that on the side of his building. You can have them Sunday.
But no, Seaba's just sent me one, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keith. It's in the post, I think.
Next time you go in, whichever car show you're going to next time, Phil, let me know, bud. I shall bring you a cup along, 100%, mate.
I've just seen Jerome call. Yeah, I've just seen Jerome call. He says Gary has been triggered. Now, does he mean that I've had 17 new heads and 14 new handles?
Yeah, that's been, I think that one came out last week as well. I can't believe it, guys. I really want to thank you all 100% for. I've had a solid, anywhere from like 30 plus all night long in this. Oh, he says as it drops to 29. This is the. I appreciate it absolutely, guys, from you. If you could all do me a huge favour and give that thumbs up a big fat smack. That helps my channel, helps me push the content out there further, and helps my channel grow a little bit more. I think I've enjoyed it again. It's been fantastic sitting here with you all. Jack looks like he wants to do something else again. Go on, Jack.
Skeggy said he brought me a new mug over. Which one of you little toe rags nicked the new mug out the store?
It's in the.
He did bring you another mug.
Did he?
Yeah, you probably can't.
You know what it'll be? I used the dishwasher this week, and they're all still in the dishwasher. I bet it's in there.
Yeah.
I even bought dishwasher tablets as well. You know, £6.50, and he had a heart attack.
Just wash him in the sink like a normal
Too busy for that now, mate. A new PA.
I've got the best dishwasher you can ever buy. It's called
Oh, that's it. Wait for that cook coming across that kitchen any second. He's going to slap him inside the head.
Shady up.
Oh, you're
I
lucky.
can say what I like. She ain't never going to know.
Well, I don't know, mate. This will be out there visible for everybody to see, so she can watch it back again if she wants to go through 2 hours and 21 minutes worth. She might catch you out. Right, guys. Thank you all for joining me, chaps. I appreciate your support. I appreciate everybody for coming along and watching. And to the panel, we'll call it a panel, because I think I might keep this as more of a regular thing. Keep these guys in, keep a guest in if we can get a guest in. Anybody that's interested out there that would like to come on, and feel free to PM me with a message, drop me a text, email, whatever you fancy, however you can get in touch with me. Let me know if you're interested in coming on, having a sit, talk, chat. Like we said, we are not professing to be anything, as people have stated above. You need to look at the description before you open your mouth. There's that old saying, put your brain in gear before your mouth in action. And on that note, guys, thanks very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Night all.
Bye.
Golden Reaper.
Keep smiling, guys. We'll catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Ending broadcast.